Good afternoon, everyone. This is Michelle Oliver, and I am so pleased to be here today with Aldon. And Aldon, could you help me pronounce your last name? Is it Purdham?
It is. So
Did
it's
I say?
Aldon Purdham.
Okay, I often make a mistake on that. So thank you for the assistance there. And
You
Aldon
bet.
is the owner of Talem Home Care, the location in Colorado Springs. And I am coming to you from Fort Collins. So we are neighbors, although it seems very far away, actually, at times. There's a long stretch
Uh-huh.
of highway between us. But I'm so pleased to be here with you today. And I'd like to start, if you would, by just introducing yourself and sharing a little bit about who you are and how long you have had this location in Colorado Springs.
Sure. Well, thanks a lot, Michelle. And so I am Aldon Purdham, and I started our franchise here in the Springs just about 3 years ago in May of 2018. So it's been an amazing journey for us over the last 3 years. My original career was the Air Force, so I'm retired Air Force, and since then did some other things in the business industry. But what led my wife and I to starting our company was the experience of our own parents. And regrettably, in 2014-15, we did lose three of our four parents. But as tough as that was, what was comforting in the midst of that was witnessing them receive just amazingly loving and compassionate caregiving. And that impacted our hearts. I was doing other things in business at the time, and flash forward a couple years later and just hit this crossroads of wanting to have more of a personal impact on people. And so my wife and I, after a lot of prayer and soul searching, we decided to do what not many 50 somethings do when they also have kids in college. And that is, we decided to launch this business to honor our parents by bringing care to other people's parents of the quality that we saw our parents receive, and hopefully bring their families the same peace of mind that we had knowing our parents were cared for. And so you actually see behind me photos of my parents and my wife's parents. So they impact us to this day and have been the passion that drives us to bring care to others, so that we can both honor our parents and honor others by doing that.
Wow, thank you so much for sharing that. That is, it's very touching actually. And there is no better way to build a business than having truly the heart to do that, especially during the time. So you've been through the pandemic and you also had a couple of years of pre-pandemic, I guess 2 years prior to that, that you were able to grow quite rapidly and quite robustly, actually. And I'm guessing that a lot of that is because of your passion around this and the level of care that you are able to actually deliver all the way through, because you've got caregivers you're growing and nurturing, and then they are out in the field with the community. So how do you differentiate yourself in the sea of home care options? How are you unique, other than obviously your heartfelt, compassion and passion for what you do?
Well, I really do think it helps in a couple of areas where, one, we really do have a very personal passion. So while every business strives to be successful, we have really put our time, energy, and effort into serving and caring people. And I've always been a strong believer that if that's your focus, um, good things will happen. And in the case of running your own business, that your business is going to thrive if that's where your focus is. And so I do believe that's that sincerity and that genuineness for truly wanting to care for people is what carries over to our clients. The feedback we get from them, and I would say I think that's expressed in many of the reviews that we have from Google. That's the feedback we get from them, and that means more to me than anything. That they really do recognize that we have a genuine passion for wanting to care for people, and to the point where, as I said, since we started our company to honor our parents, that's really how we hold ourselves accountable. Because if we were to fail to provide the highest quality of care to our clients, we would really feel like we're dishonoring our parents, and certainly that would be the last thing we'd ever want to do. And so that's what holds us accountable. Now, I wish I could promise to every client that we'll never have any hiccups. That's impossible to do, but I really do feel confident in telling all of our clients that you'd really have to look hard to find an agency that will be as dedicated and committed to overcoming those challenges as quickly and as thoroughly as possible. So that's probably the underlying answer to your question, and I think that carries over to our responsiveness. Once we get a referral, we reach out that same day. We usually have a visit set up by the next day, and we're moving forward from there to get them staffed as quickly as possible with a caregiver that's as optimally suited and tailored to that specific client to the fullest degree possible. And then we continue to stay engaged with them. So it really translates into a great relationship where they know we're right there with them. And just like we started this with our family in mind, we truly do view the clients we have as family, since that's the foundational principle that we launched our business with.
That's wonderful. It's very evident, Aldon, that your core values and your integrity are just driving absolutely everything that you do. You are such a value purpose driven business, and every interaction that I've had with you, that is very evident. I work with quite a number of different small businesses, and one of my passions is culture, and how do we build our teams and our culture within that, those core values. And so not only is everything trickling into, the clients and customers that we serve, but we're lifting up our employees. And so how do all of these wonderful values, how do you integrate that into your immediate teams?
Well, that's certainly a great question. And first and foremost, everything we strive to do is really built on integrity, because we have to have that with our clients. We have to have that with our caregivers. Um, and if we were to ever compromise that, then really everything else falls apart. So we do our utmost to stay true to really that relationship of being honest with our clients, being honest with our caregivers, and therein comes the trust that they have in us, and that's something we would never ever want to forsake. And so, as I said, even when a hiccup arises, um, we want to do our utmost to overcome whatever that issue is, because again, that's what we've told them we're going to do. And then part of that then is accountability. So we have to be accountable to what we say, and so we let our clients know if there's a call out, we're going to be immediately engage with them to let them know that. If someone's running late, even just to give them the courtesy of knowing that's the case. If a backfill is needed, to keep them informed of what's the status of getting a backfill there as soon as possible, and working through those challenges with them to the fullest extent we can. And then collectively, through those efforts, then we're able to develop that kind of relationship that's founded on honesty and accountability. And from that really comes a teamwork, both of our staff, our caregivers, and then working with our clients, because everyone trusts each other and we're mutually holding ourselves accountable.
I love that. Truly, the home care um, niche, I guess you could call it, is the quintessential example of it takes a village, right? It really does take a village. And when I'm sitting here and I'm listening to you, that's what I hear, that you have literally created not just a family, but an entire village, because you're out there in the community. First of all, you are offering employment to other people who have that same heart and integrity and those core values. And then you are trickling this into everything. And also, what I love about this is the integration of generations. And you mentioned that you and your wife came into this, which in and of itself is amazing that you're doing this together after the age of 50. Well, anyone who's listening to this video,
Oh, secret's out now.
yeah, one of the videos, what are the videos about that? No, one of the advantages to that, and I think is so important and beautiful, is that you are coming to the table with an incredible history and skills and proven skills in building teams. You've already done these things repeatedly throughout your life. So you're bringing all of that into an industry that is actually people don't realize how complex this type of business really is. So someone coming with skill to implement all of these, it takes a lot of scheduling and relationships and communication, and there are so many pieces to this puzzle. And until you are in a position where your parents need help, you just don't think about it. And I think more often than not, I mean, this has happened to me and people my age and younger, but we find ourselves in a position where you have no idea what to do, and no one has told you. How do I know when to do what? So I know that actually through these videos, one of the intentions and objectives is to begin to provide more education to the community. So we'll be doing series of videos that can help people understand, when do I do what? When is it time for what? So maybe we could end this by you sharing a little bit about the actual services that you provide, because I think that can be really confusing too. Like, how do I know which home care agency to call? Who does what? Could you just go into that a little bit?
Sure. Well, and I'd start off by even sharing what Talem means, because that's an alien word to a lot of people. It's actually of Latin origin, and it's so apropos for our business because translated to English, it essentially means empower, lead, and achieve. And that's precisely what we seek to do. We look to empower our clients. We look to lead them through what are a lot of tough decisions to have to make in terms of their care needs. And then lastly, we want to help them achieve three key things, and that's the highest quality of life in their own home for as long as possible. So along those lines, when we first meet with a client or we're talking to them for the first time, we first and foremost want to have a really good understanding of their situation. And so a lot of that is listening first. and finding out what care they need, where they're at in the process. And just like you said, Michelle, more often than not, they really don't know what they don't know. They're just starting from scratch and they're just looking for some help. And what we do a lot of at the beginning of the relationship is really helping them to know what are steps moving forward. And it may be what revenue stream do they have available to them to utilize, whether it's private pay, long-term care insurance, Medicaid, which we're also licensed to perform, and we have many Medicaid clients. And we also work with VA aid and attendance, which is a program many senior veterans don't know are available to them. And we have expertise in all those areas that we can help them, so we can help anybody regardless of where they are on the economic spectrum. And then in terms of their care needs, to help them understand what is available to them. We can perform really the entire spectrum of homemaking tasks, everything from helping to clean the house, to doing laundry, to grocery shopping, to errands. And then on the personal care side, we can take care of virtually any of the activities of daily living that they require, from bathing to dressing to changing to toileting to transferring, ambulating. And for those that may have cognitive or memory issues, protective oversight and making sure they're okay. So we can really help someone no matter where they fall on the economic spectrum, whether they can pay for it entirely out of pocket or they can't pay for a penny of it. And likewise, wherever they are on the needs spectrum, from homemaking to personal care, they may need just an hour or two a week, up to 24/7, and we can help them no matter where they fall on either of those spectrums of needs.
That's amazing. And I want to personally encourage anyone, and I will ask you about the areas that you service in just a second, but anyone who is in the areas that you service to reach out to you, because I I will tell you, I went through this with both my mother and father, who my mother passed this year and my father passed oh gosh, we missed a year. I get so confused. Um, a year ago or a year and a half ago, something like that. COVID messes me up. And I was my siblings and I were very fortunate that our parents were able to pass at home. And that everyone's different and everyone has different needs. But I will tell you that that was of significant importance to them. And having someone to guide you through that is absolutely everything, because you have no idea, like you just said, Aldon, you don't know what you don't know, and you don't know things can change so rapidly. So to have someone that has been there and is just one step ahead of you and can prepare you, not only for just the practical decisions that have to be made, but it helps emotionally. And it is a roller coaster, right? So until you're in it, you just don't know. But having someone like you who has been there and can hold your hand, I just personally want to recommend that you reach out sooner than later so you can learn and have kind of a relationship in place before that. That's what I would recommend. I don't know what you think about that, but what areas do you serve? Is it Colorado Springs? Like how far north and south do you go?
Yeah, and we actually have a pretty good range of locations. So our territory includes El Paso County,
Okay.
and that's really where our focus area is. But we also go out from there up to Douglas County, as far north as Castle Rock. And then we go east and west out to as far as Peyton and Cowhand. Those folks who are out that way, that'd be close to the wind turbines that are out there. And then out to the west to Teller County, Woodland Park, and just slightly beyond that town, and then to the south, Pueblo County as well. So we can really help anyone in that surrounding area. And we do have clients that really cover that whole breadth of territory.
Excellent. Okay, so I will have all of, you can actually find all of Aldon's contact information in the description section of this video, and reach out to him with any of your needs. Aldon, I so appreciate you being here. You are just such a delight, such a man of integrity and passion, and your story is incredible. We'll be sharing more details of that, I'm sure, as people get to know you, and we can do some additional videos like this. But is there anything that you would like to leave everyone with? You've shared so much, and I'm sure everyone is excited to get to know you more. Is there any last comment you have?
Well, I just close with two things. Again, thank you for this opportunity. What we strive to do is really help those who need help. So the more people this can reach would lead to more people who we can help. And so again, that's what would be the greatest benefit is to get people who need help to us, and for us to get to them. And the last thing I would share is everyone should feel very free to reach out if they have any questions. We are always happy, if it's nothing else, just to even answer questions and help them with some of those things we've talked about that can be questions they don't have answers to, helping them to know what are options that are available to them that often they don't realize. So we are happy to help in any way we can.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. And additionally, if you are a caregiver, I think you guys are growing quite rapidly, so that you may want to, if you kind of resonate with Aldon, you may want to reach out and see what types of opportunities they have as they grow, which is very fast. It's amazing how quickly you are growing, actually. So opportunities to actually become part of a culture like this. I mean, I can only imagine how wonderful it is to work in an environment of this type of values and integrity. So caregivers, people who need help, and anyone who knows anyone who has a parent, or anyone who needs care. Actually, it doesn't have to be a parent. Reach out to Aldon, and he will obviously take very good care of you. Aldon, thank you so much for your time today, and I look forward to seeing you the next time. You make it a
Well,
wonderful day.
thanks a lot, Michelle. You
Thank
take care.
you. Okay, bye.
Bye bye.
So Aldon, don't go away.